has a very basic form, capable to change.
Tumbled and fumbled around instead, you know my head is like a Rubik's Cube. Except all them colors turn to blue. Unless I'm tumbling and fumbling with you. I'm tumbling and fumbling. I'm tumbling and fumbling. I'm tumbling and fumbling. So turn my colors, baby, but just to prepare. 1 cube, 6 size, 9 stickers on nails, 54 squares. Turn my grooves, if you figure me out, I give you 20 moves. It's just a cube. Why does it feel like I got something to prove to you?
The cube, capable to change. The cube, without a special. The cube, finally I succeed. The cube, nowadays, it's so the cube.
Do you remember the first time you saw
The
it?
cube.
Why do you think the cube is so popular?
The cube became popular.
Hello. Welcome to Loaded Cube. No, this is not a game show. This is just a chat show. So we thought what we said was we'd bring back we kind of ditched live line and we'd bring back something slightly different. So this is what we came up with, and it may evolve as the weeks go on. But how are you first, Pete?
Being honest, I'm a bit shit at the moment. I'm going to be honest. I was stuck all weekend with a plaster at home while he was ruining my house. Crap all over the floor. And you know what? I thought Newcastle was going to help it all. We're going to get 3 points and everything's going to be okay. But it wasn't.
That did not go to plan.
The refs are a bunch of pricks. VAR's an even bigger prick. And it's ruined my weekend. And now I'm back at work, and that's shit as well. So, it's not been a great few days. I got to be honest. The only pleasure I had is the plaster is a big Leicester fan, and watching him scream and cry at the fact they got trounced by Brighton was my only saving grace this weekend. So that's how I feel. How are you guys?
I think grand, Pete. Compared to that, I'm brilliant. Look, you came to the right place. We came here to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Not promising a replay or 3 points, but let's try and see what everyone else has to talk about. So at the moment we have 3 people in the green room. So should we get to it? So just maybe as well, so people know if we want to come on in the future, is that if you come on, we bring on people one at a time. You have to come with your cam on as well, because we want to see you. We want to see you. Yeah, we want to make you the star of the show. So let's get our first star out, and the first great name this to start off with. It's Darren, spelled the right way. Darren.
Hello, boys. How's it going?
Hey, Darren. How's it going?
Not too bad. Well, it's the same as Pete, to be fair. I'm still a bit angry and a bit upset with the 0-0 on Saturday. The referee getting things wrong again. VAR. Every week now we're talking about VAR. Something needs to be done in football to get rid of them. Well, not get rid of it, improve it, because the old way wasn't working. In this way, it's not working. They meant that they do the correct job, but they're not doing it.
No, exactly, Darren. For me, it's. I think I probably said it when I was on the reaction show with Richie. I don't have a problem with the VAR, right? But it's problem for me is the people operating in the background, and it's very rare. I think we just talked about it off air. It's very rare. Then let's say if they give one decision and the referees don't have the confidence, apart from one maybe, to overrule that decision. Then if they know that what they've said is the correct call, and they've seen it back, and they've seen it from a different angle themselves than what they're seeing on TV, they should be brave enough to make the call. I think you had said, Darren, that Michael Oliver made overturned what VAR was telling them to do at the weekend. But apart from that, yeah, it's poor. It's piss poor really. And until there's some change, which you would hope it's going to be too late for the game for the what's gone before us. But into the future, you hope this is kind of going to put a dent into it and try and spur it on a bit.
It's like they haven't got a backbone, back themselves, like their own opinion, and they don't. So that in the year, I've made a mistake. I've made a rig. I need to get it corrected. But like VAR didn't help the referee on Saturday because you only showed him a little bit the accident. It didn't show you the full clip. Will it going in? Defender pushing him. They only showed you will it going into the keeper, but it didn't show you the full video footage. And that's probably the worst bit of it.
No, exactly. I'd agree, and like because what it was, there was two angles, and they seemed to just show the ref the one from the front, but the one from the back you can see clearly the push. I have it on the system still. The push on Willock and push was right into the keeper. So and then again, like from that angle, if he's not going to give the goal, then it has to be a penalty. That's the other side. But Pete, I know your thoughts. But your thoughts.
Well, it's just shit, isn't it? It's just shit. And you know what? I think if it was against a different side, if it was maybe against West Ham at home or someone else like that, an Arsenal, someone like that, I could maybe be okay with it. Not okay with it. I'm not accepting it at all. But maybe I wouldn't feel the way I feel. I think the fact that we've lost out on a goal that should have been ours, and it's against Palace, and we dominated them, and we were the better side throughout, and we had so many chances. You know, that's what frustrates me, because it's a game that we really should have won and could have won, and it's against a team that, you know, aren't bad. They're kind of middle of the road, and they're the teams that we need to beat in order to move up. But in terms of, for me, I just think there's too many now. It's not a one-off with Newcastle. There are some people in the media that have said that, in the Northeast media that have said, you know, it's not a kind of witch hunt against Newcastle, but it feels like it to me. I don't know what others feel. I don't know what you feel, Daz or Darren, but it feels like a witch hunt to me. It feels like there's been so many decisions going back from last season to this season that have gone against us constantly, that something's not right here, and it just feels too blatant for me. And that's where it needs to stop. There needs to be a line drawn under it to say, hold on a second, something's not right, because it's affecting football. It doesn't feel like it's a fair game. We've lost so many points from the Ryan Fraser situation before Christmas all the way through to this season, and only this season we're only 6 games in. But Daz and Richie on the reaction show talked about all the other incidences in such a short space of time that's affected Newcastle. There you go. I'll take the comment off. You know, that's not a one-off for me. That's not just a coincidence that it's happened. You look at all of them, and all of them are in my opinion, blatant. All of them. And they keep going against Newcastle. And it comes to the point where I'm starting to think that, you know, you always think, guys, Daz, Darren, and those in the green room, you might have an opinion on this as well. You always think to yourself, you know what, over the course of the season, it evens itself out. We're going to get our fair share back. But with the amount that we've already suffered, and the season's only 6 games in, I don't believe that we will. If anything, I think that it's going to be imbalanced, that we're going to continue to suffer, and we're not going to get those decisions back. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think you're right, because like say, like the decisions we're getting, like Man City with John Stones, he didn't win the ball, he won the player. Varney, and he wouldn't give considered a penalty. It was a blatant penalty. If that's anywhere on the pitch, it's a free kick, because it's Newcastle United, or we'll not give it. Big 6 again. It's just big decisions. Referees are missing out, and I think it's happening. I totally agree with you. I think it's happening too many times now. Not just a one-off; it's every week. And how far is it going to continue?
Yeah, I think as well. What I think the club are seeing this as well, and I know Amanda was talking to Tyneside Life about it as well. I think yesterday, but they're probably looking at it in the big picture and the project. As they're saying, they're highlighting this now. They're probably referencing back to last season and these 6 decisions now again. And yeah, something doesn't add up here. Get your house in order, because like now it's been highlighted. If it can keeps continuing to happen, then there is definitely a conspiracy theory against us. I'm not saying there is now, but it's just like, and that in one way it's probably no harm, because we are thinking big picture and long term and the project, and it has ruined the start of the season for us. But when we get stronger and stronger, then hopefully this mess is sorted out, and it's we're playing, and we're not asking for a favor. We just want an equal playing ground here when it comes to decisions. But look, before we let you go, Darren, I want to ask you, do you want to tell your other story? Because a happier note, because I know that was interesting.
On a Sunday, I was out with the dogs, and my mum's dog went running to his little kid, knocked her over by mistake. And I went, "Sorry, pal." And I looked, it was anyhow, and oh, hello, pal, Harry. So I said, "We got robbed on a Sunday. We got robbed on Saturday." He said basically yes, but he was with his boys and his friends or some of family with him. But he was playing cricket with them and with the kids, and it's good to see out of work he's doing family stuff. So I didn't really like. I was kicking the ball with his young kid and his young girl, but I'm playing football with the kids. But it was good. He's a lovely lad, nice to talk to. Easy approach. He is a nice fella. And when he was going, I took a picture of him for his family, and I've got a picture of my friends. But he's a lovely lad, and it's good to see him out of football, spending time with the kids and his friends. You know what I mean? Because football is so much demand on him. He needs to get his stress out of the way and spend the kids. You know what I mean? But I couldn't believe when I seen him Thursday. I thought I was saying things when I seen him.
No, I love that story. That's a class story, Darren. And I think looks like we're going to lose Pete, but I think you'll be on Sean Casey's list of targets now for January, because Eddie House scouting you. So watch out, your name may be up in lights there. But I'll put you back in the green room, Darren, and say thanks for coming on. Hopefully Pete comes back and joins me as well. But thanks for joining us tonight, and sure, we might see you on future shows.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thanks a minute. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. So that was Darren, our first guest on Loaded Cube. So I imagine Pete is going to disconnect and reconnect in a second, so we'll give him a chance. But while we're waiting, next in tonight is a familiar face in Sam. Welcome, Sam.
Evening. Hello.
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's just the two of us.
Very romantic, Sam. Well, how's things with you, buddy?
Aye, all good. I'm all right now. Obviously, I had COVID a couple of weeks ago, but went back to work last week and I'm fine. I was wrecked, because I had it for 3 to 4 days and it just wiped us completely. I mean, I've had all my jobs and that, but I'm the only thing I could do was have a shower, and after that, I was just purely knackered. I was like, I don't want that again for 3 to 4 days, even for that short time. I don't want it again.
No, no one does. But the main thing is that you're recovered, Sam, and you live to tell the tale. So what is bothering you today, or what would you like to talk about?
I guess it's the dark nights. Unfortunately, I'm sick of them getting dark at 7:30. No mind. No, it's good. It's got to be our old friends and VR and the officials, hasn't it? I'm still raging. I mean, I'm literally raging that much. I don't know how to put it words wise. It's usually where raging is a fan base about players having bad games and getting thumped and being embarrassed on the pitch, but the players are doing nothing wrong. It's the muppets who are that's meant to be the officials who you're meant to respect and who you're meant to look up to and who you're meant to trust on the pitch, who are getting everything wrong and who are literally shafting us so bad it's ridiculous. And I'm saying it now. There's definitely a conspiracy against Newcastle United, whether people like it or not. I mean, the decisions keep adding up, and the more they add up, the more there's a strong case for it. And it's not hard, the decisions to make. It's some of the decisions you don't even need VAR to make them. You should be able to make them yourself. And another thing as well I want to come up with is, why did we have a referee in charge on Saturday who's only refereed 7 games before in his career? Why in the Premier League? Why?
Yeah,
Surely
doesn't
you
make sense.
earn your bread and surely you earn your bread and butter by refereeing more games in the lower leagues, in the Championship, League One, League Two, Conference, whatever it's called now. If it's called that, I don't know. Some of my correctors. You ref so many games in them divisions, then you step up. But he's 7 games. I'm sorry, but like, it just shows you that he doesn't know what he's doing. If fair enough, he got the first decision right because it was a goal. But then to be influenced by a VAR official means that he's unsure. He doesn't know what he's doing. So why is he being put in the Premier League to make him ultimately not have the balls to make his own decisions and have somebody make these decisions for him? But, it's when the fact that Lee Mason's being took off VAR duty this weekend is just salt in the wounds, isn't it? It just shows to me that they know they've got it wrong. So why? I know it's not going to happen now, but in future, why can't they say, well, listen, you get your 3 points because you would win the game 1-0 because Palace didn't score in the game, so that for me is irrelevant. And then you can like go back. And like the problem is as well though, Mike Riley's leaving at the end of the year. He's a twat, and it's been replaced by Howard
That's not a
Webb,
problem.
who's another one. So you're just replacing a tosser for a tosser. You know what I mean?
Howard Webb,
So
yeah.
yeah,
But my experience with
you're
him
not improving it.
was all Man United based. But
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. But what something that might interest you tomorrow, Sam, and anyone listening as well, because we're kind of focused on the VAR topic, and Pete is going to join us. He just had to reboot everything in his house. But is tomorrow we have a show with Keith Hackett, so former Premier League referee, respected official. So he's coming on to give his views on all this controversy. So that's one to look forward to tomorrow night at 7:30. So keep an eye on that. But
I think he was on TalkSport this morning. I heard him, and he said he said he's raging with all the decisions that are being made and all that. So it'll be interesting to hear what he's got to say.
Exactly, and I think he had a part of Mark Douglas's article in iNews today. He goes into he quotes Keith Hackett as well, so he must have been talking to him too. So yeah, be interesting to get his take on it now tomorrow. But I'm not surprised that that's the topic you came with, Sam.
I think, like I said, it's going to take me a long time to get over all these decisions. Even if we win at West Ham on Sunday, which again I'm expecting us to get stuff over by something, because it's just Newcastle United now, and it's just part of the territory we seem to be coming across, where we'll get denied a clear penalty, or we'll get denied the opposition a clear red card, or something will happen. We'll be having the same conversation next week and the week after because it's Newcastle United, unfortunately.
But you not think that now that the club are making a point of it, like, look, it's going, look at this, and this. Surely they have to let it give us something along the way. And if it's 50-50, go with the Newcastle side, just to keep them quiet for a while. But it could, if it keeps continuing the way it's going, yeah. It's definitely conspiracy theory. But
I agree with David. We should have done more with 22 shots, but their keeper was the man of the match. And that, I'm sorry, but what more can you do if their keeper's man of the match? It's just one of them days where their keeper had a worldie. And again, I think, I saw people criticising Isaac for not scoring. I thought, hold on, man, you were bloody licking his arse out the other night because he scored, and you were having to go at him. It was wrong. I think it's because his chance was so early in the game for him. He just wasn't, he didn't know what. I think it was just too quick for him, and I would be more concerned with the fact that the people like Almiron had a good game. Don't get us wrong, but he didn't create chances for Isaac, and neither did Fraser. I'd be more worried about that because Isaac's chances came from his own making. That's what I would be more worried about because, Fraser and Almiron are on the pitch to create chances, and they didn't create much. So that would be more worried about. I mean, I think ASM will create more chances for him, but I just,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
hopefully with ASM and Bruno back at the weekend. So welcome back, Pete.
Yeah, look, all the stuff that's going on in my house, it's messing with my electric, so it keeps tripping. So I do apologise, but no, it's an interesting point that you've made, Sam, about Isaac, because there has been a lot of stick thrown his way about missing that chance. I mean, you do expect him to score that, but maybe do you think that's maybe a lesson learned by the way in which he tried to finish it? Do you think Eddie Howe's maybe had a word with him and said, we've already had this with Jacob Murphy last season before we took charge, obviously, against Watford. Do you think maybe Eddie Howe's maybe had a word with him after that type of finish and said, you know what, just take it round the keeper and put it in the net?
Yeah, I think you have said something, because I seem to remember the same thing happened with Almiron, didn't it, on his home debut? He went through 1-1 against Huddersfield and he tried to chip the keeper and he hit the post, didn't he? And luckily enough, obviously, what you call him, Isaac scored at Liverpool, and he scored twice, let's be honest, because the second one was onside. There's no doubt on that, it was onside. So, but it's days where, again, if one player doesn't step up, another player has to step up. And as much as I like Miggy for his work rate, and he hit the post, he didn't create anything for Isaac. And Fraser as well, I personally think his legs are gone for the Premier League now. I thought, yeah, he can defend and track back, but again, he created nothing for Isaac. So that's somewhere where we need ASM back, because he will create for Isaac, and he's probably the same player on the same wavelength with his pace that can, because Isaac's pace on Saturday was frightening, some of the runs he was making. But yeah, I think he'll score more goals than he misses anyway, so it's only his second game.
Do you think it will affect him? Do you think it will affect Isaac off the back of that? Do you think we'll have any issues with Isaac, in front of goal after that game, or do you think he's just going to keep doing what he does in terms of being a threat and creating opportunities for himself?
Well, I think the more chances he'll get, I think it's just getting chances. I think if he keeps creating chances, I'm pretty sure he'll score more than he'll miss. But again, the problem is who's going to create it, because again, Saturday he had to create his own chances. Obviously, Longstaff created them on Wednesday, but again, he was just like an oil tanker on Saturday. He was just so slow and sluggish on the ball, and I think out of the three, I think he should be the more vulnerable one to get dropped if Bruno doesn't come back in if he's thinking about playing Anderson. I think. Cheers, Shawshank. I think. I saw Martin comment there. He is. Shawshank must be on overtime tonight.
He'll be back on the show maybe tomorrow night.
It's just, again, though, as I've said, it's just, I think, we've paid £58 million for him, which tells you everything you know, that the owners and the team are confident he will score the goals. So, and I think he will as well.
Do you reckon he'll get the season, in your opinion?
If he gets 15, that's a good haul for me, because last season our main striker Wilson he scored 8, and then we had ASM score 5, and then Fraser scored 2 and Almiron 1. Now if Isaac can get 15 goals on his own, that's 15 more goals than that's more than all them put together, really. So apart from Wilson, he scores more goals than all them wingers put together. So that could be the difference between finishing at 11th last season to finishing in the top 10 is them goals. But
yeah,
again, if we're getting diddled by the referees, like why you tweaking VAR, then we could probably score as many goals as we want, but could get choked off, or opposition will score goals that are meant to be goals, and it's just it's out of our hands seemingly all the time, isn't it?
Exactly. Just trying to win the lads here.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, Sam. Yeah, I was just going to say, Sam, thanks for joining us again. We'll put you back in the green room. Thanks for coming on to having a chat and having a bitch in a moan about VAR like everybody else. But we'll see you for the next bad decision. Okay, good good catching up with you, Sam, and we'll talk to you later.
Nice seeing
Buddy.
you. See you
Take
soon.
care.
Speak soon. Catches all. Yeah, have a good night. Drop.
Take care, mate.
Good luck.
See you later.
Drop.
Great to have Sam. Great to see him again. We haven't seen him since the last live lines. I'd say we haven't seen Sam. But just wanted to mention two things. One is cheers, Roy, for the donation as well to the channel. As always, thanks for the donation to the channel, and also to Jordy Mick. Hope you're feeling better, Jordy Mick. He's been watching these shows while he's recovering from an operation, one of his operations. So get well soon, Jordy Mick, and we'll see you. Maybe you can join us someday when you're back on your feet. So join us for one of these shows. So great to have you with us. But let's get our next guests out now. Some people know this our next guest as Jimmy, but not tonight. He is Dirty South Mags. Welcome, Jimmy.
Hello. We are back. We are back.
How you doing, my man? You okay?
I am good. It's a holiday today, so happy Labor Day, even for you lazy Americans that don't want to work, you know.
Happy holidays.
I tell you what, Jimmy, you guys over there over the pod get more holidays than anyone else in the world. You must love it.
Oh, Jesus, yes. As long as you keep a Democrat in office, I mean, Biden just makes up holidays. It's great.
Love it. Love it. Well, look, it's part of tradition, Jimmy. Like, I have to ask you, what's the weather like today?
It's finally, we're getting out of that mode where we had all this humidity, depressing weather, just like today is like 90 or 80, but no humidity. There's a breeze. It's beautiful. This is the way it should be.
Nice.
Those 100-degree days, I don't, you know, I'm not the Jordy Dennis. I'm not used to all that. I don't live in the Middle East.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Hey, it was lashing rain here today in Ireland. It was like a mini storm going on. So yeah, I'd take some of that. Give me any day.
Thunderstorm.
Well, that's
last
every
night
day.
for me, guys. Jesus.
The
Christ.
thunderstorm. Yeah.
Oh, it's nothing like a good thunderstorm at night. I mean, oh God, you sleep so well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got my sunglasses on. I figure I'll channel my Stevie Wonder because that seems to be what the VAR refs are doing. So,
Oh, love it.
Come on, then. Tell us about it, man. Talk to us, Jimmy. What are your thoughts?
I've come to the conclusion that these were good referees at some time. They got to the Premier League, and then they get here and they forget how to ref. I'm convinced that the Referees Association, what is it, PLMO or some crap. I honestly think they're trying to sabotage us. You've always had, I guess, in football where the referee's decision on the field is final. And I just don't think, for one, they like the VAR system because it forces them to have to call out their colleagues. You know, if I just, there's no way you become a bad referee overnight. And the fact that I sent a tweet out today is, why are all the ex-referees on Sky experts at VAR, but nobody officiating right now knows what the hell they're doing?
Exactly. I think there's so many suggestions of ways they can improve it, like having a professional team of VAR experts, not referees, and they're independent from referees, and the whole micing people up or micing the refs up,
Yes.
and you can hear what's actually going on in the VAR discussions. That's the one I'd like to happen. and just hear the logic. If they could see what the decision making process is, how they, especially that
Yeah.
goal at the weekend, how they ruled it out.
Well, leave it up to U.S. soccer to do anything progressive, but they're experimenting next year through the U.S. Open Cup of basically tried to simplify the offsides rules. That offsides will only be applied if a part of your body that you can actually score with is offsides, eliminating the hands and the arms. Because you can't score with that. Makes too much sense not to do it. You can't score with your arms. Who cares if it's, your torso, your scoring parts of your body are still onside, even as on. That's what we were always told growing up. They're just taking the arms out of the equation. Shoulders, knee, like Miggy does, his face. I mean, everything. All that'll be eliminated. I love that rule. I love it.
And Jimmy, I see your mate Jeff Carter's in the chat. I haven't seen Jeff in the chat for ages. So great to see you back in the chat, Jeff.
I mean, I'll take a picture of him and add it to his archive of antiques. We hadn't heard from him for a while.
No, we haven't.
Jeff, you know what to do. You know what to do, my man. Come and join the party.
But yeah, the game this week was shit. Followed up by shitty college football. My team's losing. And then on Sunday, I get to watch another shittier performance from Atlanta United. So yeah, this whole weekend was just crap.
Jimmy, we have a question for you from Double O Roller himself, Mr. Keith Roll, 007. We've got, what does Jimmy, aka Dirty South Mags, think of Everton this season?
That's a loaded question, Keith.
One, they're still shit, but I have to admit, I was pulling for them during the Liverpool match. The tweet I had today, this guy, it was brilliant. It was the picture of Klopp, his painting on side of some bar. He said, well, we used to have Elf on the Shelf. Now we have Prick on the Brick. And that so summed it up. But yeah, it was, I don't, where does Gordon or Jordan Pickford get these matches from? He has them like every 5 matches or something. He just pulls out something. You're just like, no way. But Pope should still be the number one.
It always seems to be, Jimmy, when he's about to lose his space or his place is number one in the team, he always pulls out a little masterclass every so often that just keeps Gareth Southgate thinking, yeah, he's my number one. Just as he's probably considering maybe a change. So this is what Jordan Pickford does. He'll probably have the 2 or 3 absolute shockers in the next few days. But it's always that one-off magical game. And he was brilliant, to be fair. Like, as much as I hate him, he was very good. And that's what he does, just to keep himself in that conversation.
They're still oh, okay, I'm back. I lost y'all for a second. Yeah, they're still garbage, and but it's a city with 2 shit teams as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Jimmy.
No, and Chris Hall isn't here to defend them either, so we'll take that.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Roll. Thanks, Keith.
Love it. Jimmy, anything else you want to add before we let you go about NUFC?
NFC, shoot, I got all my teams mixed up. Fantasy football, but I'm just ready for 3 points. I mean, seems like last year these were losses. This year they're draws. Eventually, these will start becoming wins, and we need 3 points. I mean, the fact that Man U is now above us just really ticks me off.
Me too.
But yeah.
What?
Oh wait, I was going to say in closing, if you get a chance to see the World Cup jerseys for the U.S., absolute garbage. They're terrible. They will not be receiving $90 from me this year. They got I just spent $20 for DH. Okay, thank you, Martin, for turning me on to that. But they didn't get full price from me. There's no way. So if you get a chance to check them out, we're gonna be the stupidest looking team at the World Cup. And our play just might show it. Okay.
Love it.
Jimmy, before we let you go, there's another request from Keith Roll. He's on a roll. Is our Keith? He says, Daz and Pete, I wanted to hear Jimmy say the catchphrase from last season. Do you remember what that was?
Blue turds.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Now, Keith.
Yes.
Love it.
Nice one. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. No problem. Jordy Mick, I mean, you can still come on. You're just laying there. You know you're watching. You can still come on. Yeah. I know you might be painkillered up, but if you can text me, you can come on.
There you go.
All right,
there's
guys.
A challenge. Challenge to Jordy Mick.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Cheers, Jimmy. Great to finally meet you. The first time talking to you, but talked to you plenty of times on Twitter. But we'll see you again, buddy.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Take care, my man.
Deadly to have Jimmy on. I finally get to meet Jimmy. Yeah, you yourself and Chris have met him loads of times, but that was my first time to meet him.
Great guy.
Seb, if you can hear me, turn on your camera, because I know it's Seb from who we used to have. Oh, there he is. He's ready.
Like magic, he appears.
Before we get Seb on, I just want to say another thank you to Darren Wrinkle. Thank you very much. That's great being back and talking NUFC. So that's obviously Darren that was on the show this earlier. Thanks, Darren. Thanks for the donation to the channel. Great to speak to you. So let's get Seb on. I remember Seb from back in the takeover days, and always brings a great point. So interesting, and it always brings a twist as well. So I want to hear what Seb has to say. Welcome, Seb.
Yes, how are we, gents? Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. All good.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah, all good, man. Good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man. So, let's start off with the VAR decisions. I believe, yes, it's been unfortunate, and I understand that, people are disappointed. We have been hard done by, and the officials are totally to blame. But I'm of the opinion that over the course of the season, I feel it will balance out. So we're gonna have games where the decisions don't go the opposition's way. So on the flip side, then are we going to say, oh well, we didn't deserve the points, or are we going to say B, well, we deserved the decision because everything averages out? So yes, I know 6 times or 5 times, whatever has happened, is a lot, but I believe over the course of a season, things will go away. Yeah, every single one of those decisions. It is a lot, but I generally believe that. And also remember, it's not like we lost these games. And yes, we wanted the win as well, but Yeah, I mean that's all I've got to say about that. I'm not buying. Me personally, I don't believe in the conspiracy narrative, but I'm not challenging people's opinion. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but that's just my opinion. I think I don't want to overthink too much of this stuff, but
No,
I do.
I hear what you're saying, Seb, and look, I don't believe the conspiracy theory either yet, but if it keeps continuing, I will. But and I just think it's just incompetence. Incompetence. Like
100%.
I'm sure as well. Okay, and okay, I work in tech, so maybe these guys aren't able to operate the controls. I know there's has to be someone there showing them how to do things as well, and they can have that from another angle. You imagine that they'd know the capabilities of the system and go, no, I don't. Can you move it a different way? Can you give me other angles to work with here? I need to see from here and know what they're working with. Ex-referees, they're probably not the best. No offense, but maybe some of them are. They've been general there, but some of them probably aren't either. So that's why it needs professionals in there doing the job.
Definitely,
Pete.
definitely.
No, I think that's a fair point, Seb. You know, it's for me, I'm probably slightly more conspiracy theory, although not 100%. only because, and the reason why I say only because these decisions have happened after we got taken over, and because of all the talk around the takeover and the Premier League and the top six and all the rest of it, it just feels like so many decisions since we've been under new ownership have gone against us, and in my mind, I'm just kind of thinking like it has to be that it's not coincidence that so many decisions. I mean, we talked about so many last season, and you know we've already talked about 5 or 6 as Daz put on the screen. Just this season, we're only 6 games in, and that's kind of just my train of thought. But going in isolation to the incident on kind of Saturday with the Palace game, you know, what were your initial thoughts when that happened? You know, were you go mad or were you kind of like, you know, a little bit more calm about the situation?
Well, I thought to myself, why the hell is the linesman getting involved? The ref gave the goal. So, yeah, essentially I was pissed about it. But I think a part of what's my thinking as well is that the sides we've played against, they're decent sides. Like we're not playing like Bournemouth or Southampton, those kind of teams where you look back and think, damn, we should have won those games. The teams we've got points against, right? These are teams like we do respect. Palace are a good side, okay? They beat us last season. I'm sure every season we either draw or lose or win against them, but I think that's part of my thinking. If it was against the lesser sides where we go in those games, demand we get 3 points. Yes, we deserve to win, but I don't know. Maybe that's just a part of my thinking. Like Palace, Brighton, these are okay sides, and
they're kind of mid-table teams, aren't they? They're the teams you'd expect to be mid-table, and maybe that's my thought. You know, that maybe I don't know what you think, Daz, and maybe that's my thought and why I'm maybe so frustrated that we didn't beat them, because I'm looking at Newcastle potentially fighting for, you know, 8th position in the Premier League this season, and if we're going to finish in the 8th position, although Palace are a good side, they've got some good players. Seb, I remember on our chat, you were talking about the likes of Eze and Zaha and some of those players that and their top players. But I do believe that if we're going to finish in that 8th position, we need to beat teams like that. But you know, it's an interesting one. But like, are you of the mindset that we should have won the game anyway, even aside from that decision?
Yeah, we definitely deserve to win the game. So I popped out quickly. I missed about 10 minutes. I popped to the shop, or about 5 minutes of the game, and I met a Palace fan on my way back, and he just popped to the shop as well. And he said, "Yeah, I'm watching the game," and he blatantly said, "Yeah, it's a good game, but I still think you lot are going to win." So Palace fans were saying that. I think it was about 65 minutes on the clock, and they just thought, right, I think we're going to lose this game. So yes, we should have won that game. But to be fair, I think a part of me that's slightly calm as well is that I've looked at our next 4 fixtures. Okay, we've got West Ham away. Okay, this is a good time to play West Ham. Okay, they've got Paqueta now, but he hasn't settled in, right? He hasn't found his feet. They're not on great form. This is a good time to play them. Okay, then we've got, I think, Fulham, Brentford, and then who else we got? We've got Bournemouth after West Ham at home, right?
Yeah.
So when I look at our next fixtures, I kind of feel, look, this is okay.
Yeah, I see hear what you're saying, Seb, but are you thinking of that from like the old Newcastle point of view? Oh, we'll get our points, the points we need to kind of stay up. And when I know Pete, you're thinking the opposite, that we need these points because we need to challenge for Europe, get in the European places. And going back to a few things you said earlier, so I didn't answer, was that yeah, I was definitely pissed off. I would like everybody else when I heard it, and I couldn't believe it either because even the commentators, was Ian Dowie was on commentary when I was, and he couldn't believe it's definitely a goal here. There's no way that they can say it was not a goal, and then lo and behold, it was ruled out. But yeah, I don't know. It seems just like a way that they've manufactured a way to slow us down again, and now I'm reeling back into conspiracy theory thing again. But and I think
I was going to say you're
yeah, I
winding
know
up
flip
there.
flop on there, and I think that's where what Amanda's saying and what the club have come out with. They're going right. That's enough of this shit now. We look at there's 6 things in a row here, and the things from last season. You've had enough. You've had your little thing. Now sort it out because we're not standing up for this shit anymore. I don't know what they can do if if it happens again. But look, they're making a point of it, calling it out. And I'm sure if something mental happened again, then there'll be more on our side again, saying that this is corrupt in some fashion. But again, we'll leave it for now with the start of the project.
There you go. There you go. Back to the point you just made about, is that with a view of us staying up or Pete's view of us getting into Europe? It's not just totally about just settling for a point here or there. That's nothing to do with it. Believe me. When I was referencing the next games, it's not because we need points from them. I just believe that yes, we haven't won for 5 games or so, and let's be honest. If say in 2-3 games time, if we get 2 wins out of 3 or 7 points out of 9. Are we realistically going to be looking through his back of those results? We're going to be thinking about our last 2-3 games.
Yeah.
I think that's a more than fair point. I mean, if you look at it, yes, we've only won 1 game this season, but we've gone away to Brighton, we've gone away to Wolves, we've gone away to Anfield, and yes, we've only lost 1 of those games. We've had Palace at home, but we've had Man City at home as well.
Yeah.
You look at those fixtures. They're tough fixtures. And then the next one, away at West Ham. In my mind, I'm frustrated about the Palace game. But in my mind, in the same breath, is that actually we've got Wolves out the way, away from home. Brighton out the way, away from home. We've got Anfield out the way, away from home. And, all those games are gone that later in the season could be difficult games. And we've not lost or any of them, obviously apart from Anfield, but we've not lost any of those games against Brighton, against Wolves, against the type of teams that we're going to be up and around, this season. So that maybe fills me with a little bit of confidence. But what are your thoughts going into the next game against West Ham? Obviously, we've got a point there last season. You've mentioned as well they're not on great form.
Yeah.
Do you believe we can go there and win? Do you believe that we can get something from that game next Sunday?
Well, first thing I'll say is that it does depend in terms of Bruno and ASM. It will be very helpful if one of them are available. Okay. I don't know what the status is with them. Having at least one of them back, if not both, having at least one of them back will fill me with a lot more confidence. But the way we've played, and once again, for me personally, their current form is a major factor. They're not on great form. It's a good time to play them. Don't think they've won a game. And I've got massive confidence in our centre backs. Okay, they're solid. Okay, we've talked about it on the Southern Group, Pete, about who's the best starters. I would like to start Burn. But we've got a full strength defence, and ASM being. Let's talk about one other thing we'll talk about the other day in the group was about Fraser's form. At the end of the day, I don't believe his legs have gone. I think that's a little bit over the top. That's just my opinion. Okay, he's been injured. He hasn't had a lot of form, but I think he's got a lot to offer. And obviously, we're going to play him anyway, and he's better than Murphy. So that's one narrative I'm not believing. What his legs have gone. You'd rather start Fraser over Murphy.
There's been a lot of talk though, over the last 24 hours that there's been a lot of fans, and I don't know if people in the chat feel the same. There's been a lot of fans that are saying they would rather Elliot Anderson play over Fraser. Are you of the same mindset, or would you go with Anderson and say, you know what, let's give him a start away at West Ham at the Olympic Stadium, or are you like you've talked quite positively about Ryan Fraser? Would you still persist with Fraser going into that game?
Right. Well, Anderson, I don't see him as a wide player. Yes, I remember he came off the bench against Brighton and he hit the he hit the crossbar, etc. But where do you play him in terms of in terms of the centre midfielders we're going to drop? I think it makes more sense to rotate between Willock and Longstaff, which is unlikely. I don't see us playing Anderson ahead of Fraser unless we play him as an inverted forward. So I think just for now he's okay. I think he needs a couple of more starts. Start him against Palace when we played him in the cup. Start him in that game, but I'm just not sure. Maybe Bournemouth at home, but in a game like West Ham away, West Ham got some good players.
Yeah, it's a tough game to throw him into from the start. But I think he does need to start. I know I saw something else here today on Twitter when it was about who would you pick for your midfield three. Like the top one is our normal one, let's say, with GSF, Bruno and Willock. Then with the kind of we've had Longstaff in there, and there's a call for dropping Willock and bringing Elliot Anderson in there as well, playing the kind of Willock role. So
I don't know how much. What I would say is that I don't know how much of that, because Anderson is not really a centre mid. How much of that dirty work can he do? Because obviously Longstaff puts himself about. Yeah, fair enough. He makes a few mistakes here or there, but he does put himself about. Willock's got the energy. He can do the running. We know that. But Anderson in the midfield three, I'm just not sure. I'd rather test him out against lesser opposition. I wouldn't say Palace in the cup obviously is not less opposition, but it's a less risky game. If we get knocked out of the cup, it's not great. But in terms of starting him, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just a bit pessimistic, but I don't know.
I know. We have to see. We have to see if Bruno and ASM are fit, and hopefully they are. It would be a great game to bring them into, and of course, one of the Battleground Europe games. Pete, one that I'm sure you'd love to rub into Dan Lawless's face.
Hopefully, we're going to be speaking to Dan Lawless this week in the build-up to the West Ham game. Away days is going to be a big one. But look, from an away from a Battleground Europe point of view, it'll be lovely to get those 3 points against West Ham. There's no doubt about it. And obviously, Seb, you're from London ways, so it's always that. I imagine it's always nice for you to get the 3 points over the London teams.
Do you know what? The funny thing is that I live in Selhurst Park, so Palace is like my local. So and my brother supports Palace, etc. I've been to Selhurst Park a few times actually. I'll go there quite often, and it's nothing to do with that. Why I'm leaning on the fact we didn't win, but I've even got Palace fans saying, "Yeah, you guys, you should have won that game."
Did you say your brother is a Palace fan?
Yeah, he supports Palace.
Yeah, he needs bragging rights here. The next game.
Yeah, but one last thing, Blacks. I know you got people coming on. I just want to discuss the obviously when Wilson comes back, because there's a lot of this. Yeah, let's just obviously we paid 60 mil for Isaac. Yes, he needs starts. We need to see him play. What are you guys' thoughts of managing Wilson's playing time? Because obviously he's got goals in him. But what are we going to do when he comes back?
I think we have to alternate them, as you said, manage Wilson. And I suppose the good thing is that if he does happen to break down, we're not going, oh no, we're screwed here. We have Ezek, but I think Ezek will command it, and it'll be Ezek coming off, and then like imagine throwing Wilson on in 60 minutes. Yeah. That'd be unreal, or vice versa. And it's going to have the opposition managers scratching their heads. What are they going to do with that? Like, so
it's a good position to be in. Yep, definitely, 100%, man.
Yeah. I think it's a great question, Sam. It's an interesting one because I think Eddie Howe is probably going to want to manage his minutes, but I don't think Wilson's going to want to have his minutes managed, because if anyone's listened to his podcast with Mikel Antonio, he is desperate to get in that England squad, and he's going to want to play every minute that's possible and available to him. So I actually think, and I think you've touched on it as well, Seb, earlier on, I actually think there's going to be the potential for Wilson and Isaac to play in the same team. And I think Miggy could well be the guy that loses out on the back of that, because we know that Isaac can play on that right-hand side of a front three. So I think at some point it will be Wilson up top with Isaac playing on that right-hand side to give Wilson the opportunity to score the goals that allows him to get into the England squad. And let's face it, after this weekend, with Ivan Toney getting a hat-trick, all the talk is about him at the moment getting in the England squad, which brings him down the pecking order one. Mm-hmm. So he wants to be playing every minute to get the goals, to be able to put himself at the front of the queue. So I do think there's going to be a little bit of a battle there between Howe and Wilson and what they want in order to make that work.
Yeah, personally, I think his sorry, your turn, Daz. You gonna go?
No. You work away, Seb. Yeah,
All right.
I'm just laughing.
Yeah.
Funby is making faces at me here. He's dying to get on.
I think for Wilson's injury record, I think he's that ship sailed, because he hasn't played in any of the friendlies. He hasn't got chemistry with the team. If he was going into the next squad, fair enough, but he's not even going to make the next squad because he's injured. How many more friendlies are there before the World Cup? So obviously get him embedded with the team. I think that ship sailed, personally.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult for him to get in the England squad, and unless there's a raft of injuries, and he commands the spot over Isaac. We'll see. I guess. Yeah. Seb, we're going to have to say goodnight to you. Thanks a million for coming on and bringing us in various different directions and not just VAR. So that was positive. Thanks, Seb. Looking forward to having you back on again. And don't leave us so long the next time though. You'll be back on again soon. Take care, mate.
No problem, man. See you later.
Top man. Take care.
And that's it for the night now. We've closed up shop, boy. All right, Funny, man. Here he is. Here's Funby. Welcome, buddy.
You lot need a better green room, man. I'm out here there's no fruit in this month. There's no drink. Just shaking my head left, right, and center. I want to open by saying everything Seb said was trash. Didn't give you nothing. Nah, I'm playing. What's going on, lads? It's good to see ya.
Good to see you too, mate.
Good man. Glad to have you back on, my man.
Do you know what? I'm probably the happiest Newcastle fan in the world, man. Hey, you know what? We went 5 games unbeaten, you know. Like, we were that team. Like, we're hard to beat. The defense is sorted. I like that. We just need to touch up that top. I'm not going to slay no players because there's no need. But I just want the Newcastle fans to manage their expectations, man. We're going somewhere in it, and we don't have to get there tomorrow. Just so I'm saying, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. We got to stick with the team, because Newcastle fans are starting to sound like fans that I don't like. Like, you know, when you listen to Arsenal fans, and then you're just like, why are you? I heard a Liverpool fan say, if we just win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, it's been a shambles of a season. I was like, for real? I'll take one of those, and I'll be running my mouth for 2 years.
Hey,
do you know what I mean?
If we got one of those, I swear there'd be parties in Newcastle for 2 weeks.
Oh, watch the league run over 2 seasons. So I just want Newcastle fans to know we're going somewhere, man. The team is getting there. You know, look, man, we lost Bruno and ASM, and I didn't realize how much the quality drops when we lose those 2 players. Yeah. I just didn't realize, you know. But thank God we don't lose Joelinton, because he's the only player we can't lose in that midfield. Because the rest of them are, you know, they're nice people. Joelinton keeps us, you know, he keeps us rude in their faces and kind of thing. So once we get our players back with Isaac and ASM, this is what I'm excited about. I like Callum Wilson, but Callum Wilson's not like he's that killer in the box, right? When ASM and Isaac start doing them 1-2s outside the box, where he comes deep and comes to get the ball and they pass it between Bruno and themselves, we'll be causing havoc for defenses. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to all that link-up play to come. Plus, Isaac hasn't even trained with the team yet. Like, he's playing on instinct. Do you see what I'm saying? So once we get those things going, because you could see in that game against Palace, Sam Man went on his wavelength. You know what I mean? They didn't understand what to do with him. But we'll get there. So there's nothing to panic about. I know the decisions are mad. I was depressed when I saw that stupid. I don't even understand it half the time, but I'm just trying to look forward. Eddie Howe's got us in a good place. And I just think we're gonna start seeing the better days eventually. Look at Villa and West Ham, man. I laugh every day when I see them in the table. That man said we're not ready yet. That man are on 1 point. You see what I'm saying? We've come far, man. I'm laughing at them, man. Look at Leicester. Remember they said we won't make top 6. We'll have to fight for top 8. But that man. Nah, I'm good. Newcastle on fire, man.
Yeah, no, look, we've got so many good things to be thankful for. Like these little things, we'll get over them, and I think we're making a point of it now. So in the future, they won't hand out give away our points as easy. But and as you said there, they have as a cousin that hasn't trained them. Imagine when he doesn't train and with ASM, and he's going, what is he at? That'll be fun.
Once they start doing those 1-2s and start, because Isaac can dribble too, and like when the Brazilian players start dribbling, like when Robinho does his skill and he passes to Ronaldinho, it's like, now I got to do a flick over my head now. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're gonna start seeing that.
Like an airport scene.
Right, because if Isaac starts doing them step overs, Ace's like, oh hell no, you're gonna show me up. You know what I mean? So it's just, I can't wait to see it.
Definitely. Look, you mentioned you talked about managing expectations from the point of view of a fan base. Look, I'm interested to know what your expectations are in Newcastle this season. What do you expect from the team this season, and where do you expect it to finish?
Hey Pete, they've already exceeded my expectations. At this time last season, I couldn't turn on the TV, bro. I couldn't look at my own team, rude boy. I bought 3 kits this season. Like, my expectations have been blown out, rude boy. Like, I didn't see none of this coming. Look how we played City. Look how we played City.
I know.
Like, I was like, is this my team? Are we doing free kicks like this, yeah? Bro, every time I see Botman play a through pass to the centre mid, my expectations are gone, rude boy. So I'm just happy to see where this is all going, man. This is a new team, like we're actually going places. I can see it. Like them men are 22. In 3 years' time, we'll have the Van Dijk on our hands. Do you know what I'm saying? So for this season, I was like, I don't need the Europe. I don't need to qualify. I don't want to put pressure, because look at Arsenal fans. They did so well last season, but because they were so ungrateful, they were mad at 5th. I don't want to be like that. Do you see what I'm saying? I appreciate how he's done. I appreciate how difficult the league is. And so my expectations are, as long as we keep moving forward, I'll take 10th, I'll take 9th. It's all good. That means next season we build on that. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not putting pressure to win a trophy. I want we have good, them and our good friends on Instagram. They support each other. I just want a good camp around the team. There's no bad eggs. It's vibes. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm happy where it's at. I don't really put an expectation on the team. I just want to see us play good football. We've not played apart from the Brian game, we've not really stunk out the joint this season. We played with our heart, So I'm just really happy to see how the team's moving, man.
Funby, we have a challenge for you. This is the cube after all, the loaded cube. So maybe we should have had music for this. But this comes from Daryl. Daryl asks, loving the positivity, Funby. But talk to us about Murphy and Wood. Now this is a challenge.
We need to give platform for this.
You know what? I said, I'm not going to slay any players today. You're not going to bring me down, because those 2 names get my heart blood rushing. You see what I'm saying? Murphy, God bless him. It's like he's forgotten how. It's not even, but at times you see me in patches like, there's something there. This season, I've not even seen anything. And Wood, God bless him. He does nothing for our team. Hey, you see against Liverpool, when they brought on Wood, I just put my head down like, what we gonna do tonight now? So, them man, they're professionals, but imagine, Wood must be thinking, what's my life about? Callum Wilson gets injured and they sign a 60 million striker. He must have been thinking, they don't rate me here. So Wood is done, man. There's nothing we can do with Wood. It was a panic buy. We've got to live with that. Just charge that to the game. Murphy, by this time next season, he has to be gone. He just has to be gone.
Yeah,
we can't carry these men.
Yeah.
We can't. Even I love the team. Look at Joe Willock. Like if we're going places, he's gonna have to improve. He just has to improve. Otherwise, we can't carry these people no more. Do you see what I'm saying?
He has started to play a bit better though. And he's linking up well with Ezek as well. So, Pete, you want to get in?
I agree. I agree with what Fummy said. It's like, it was really, really interesting when Murphy came on the pitch at Molineux for the Wolves game, and I was in the stands. You could almost hear the groans from the away end. I'm not even joking. It was a bit like, oh, fuck's like it was a bit like that. Like, and no, I don't think anyone's having any disrespect towards him. It's just that everyone knows what you've just said for me is that they know that he's not at the level that we want.
No.
And yes, he was involved in the goal, but he didn't actually contribute to the goal. He didn't put a ball in. It was kind of just a clearance that fell to ASM. And an unbelievable finish. But people know that he's just not at the level. I even think Eddie Howe knows. I think the biggest thing for Murphy is that he's still got 5 years to run on his contract.
Mad.
Why?
Nobody's going to take it. Nobody's going to take it.
Nobody. That's why he smiles so hard in those photos. That's why that grin is so big, bro. I've got 5 years of this. And Pete, before you go, I'm going to touch on Elliot Anderson, I like the kid's youthful exuberance, but I do think we have to be smart how we use him. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all good just saying start him over this guy or start. But even though I have a go at Willock and Sean Longstaff, I believe when Bruno's fit, either one of them is perfect for that midfield. Either one of them. They fit in rightly with Bruno. We get ASM and Isaac. We don't have to worry about who's contributing there. I'm looking for those front three to cause the problems. So I'm happy with Willock to do the dirty work because he runs hard, he works hard. And then Anderson, I like to see him come on and learn more with the team as opposed to starting over senior players. I feel like there is a learning curve. Yeah, we get excited because he's the anomaly. No one knows what he's going to do. That's why it's exciting. But in a team, when you start the game and you want some kind of... Look at Carvalho for Liverpool. They started him over Firmino. I was thinking, are you guys high? Firmino killed us. Like, he's the brains. Half-time was off. And the game, you could see Firmino brings that. So I feel like it's the same with Anderson. Talented kid, but we have to use him smart. Let him learn from the Brunos and the Isaacs and see, okay, this is where I fit in. And then I see we'll get the best of him. I don't think he should be starting over senior boys just yet. We got a good thing in that mid. It's not to panic yet. We forget we had two of our key players missing, and Wolves and Palace could barely touch us. Palace, I was like, when are they gonna start balling? I thought they were doing this. We were killing them.
And just on Wood, and I don't do this often. I'm going to defend Wood for a second. In that first half, right? What was happening? I know you're looking at me weirdly. All the ball, the Trippier kept putting balls into the box. Who would have been perfect there in that situation?
Yeah.
But
you know what, Daz? Wood doesn't get
that. Wouldn't have happened.
But you know what, Daz? Wood is just not. When the ball goes out wide, by the time they look up, he's not even in the box yet.
I know. That's the thing.
It's like, dude, how am I going to cross to you? And like Fraser, everyone's having a go at Fraser, but Fraser suits that Callum Wilson as up front. Because the moment he gets the ball, he looks up, he's going to whip it, and then Callum Wilson's in that box. Whereas someone like an Isaac is not a run me into the channels, let me get that centre forward header in. He's a give it to me on the edge of the box, I can wiggle my way through and do a nice finish. So that's why they're going to have to get an understanding. He's not match fit. I can see he's not the sharpest, and I don't think he's good on the left, to be honest with you. I think he's better on the right, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. But I think give him a bit more time because he does have, towards the end of last season, he did step up for us. And even if it's just that little bit there and then, I think it will work.
I keep forgetting that is a can play out wide as well. So, as your suggestion, why not have Wilson and Isaac playing on the same team? Something to look forward to as well. With Bruno,
but I don't think Isaac will play out wide, though, Daz. I don't think he'll play out wide, Pete. I don't think so. I think he'll be two up front. Because I'm not sure about him tracking the right back with what Miggy does. I'm not sure about Isaac. I don't even want him doing that, to be honest with you. So I do think he'll play two up front, but it'll be kind of like where he will drift off to the left, but it'll be one of those weird ones where you have two up front.
It's an interesting one, and I almost sort of agree with you because Miggy does such a good job defensively for the team. Chippers was on earlier when he talked about Miggy kind of not doing the business going forward, and I think it's because he works so hard for the team going back as well. He does he's like the engine in our midfield or in our front line. He just gives so much protection, so he's not always there in the attacking areas where you want him. But Isaac, it's where Eddie Howe may take the risk. He might say, you know what? Yes, Isaac might not do the defensive business, but what he will do if we play him further forward, he can kill teams on the right hand side. Yeah. He's played for Real Sociedad on the right-hand side and killed teams with his creativity that way. So it's whether Eddie Howe may take the risk. But I just wanted to touch on a couple of points because you made some really, really good points, a number of points tonight since you've been on. But in particular about Elliot Anderson, I 100% agree with you. There's been lots of talk about him, yet he needs to start, he needs to start, he needs to start. For me, as part of his development, like you've said, I think he needs to continue to be an impact player off the bench, to learn and develop and continue to grow as a player. Now, if he turns around in the next few games and he becomes an impact sub and he then gets 2 assists or bags 2 or 3 goals, then yeah, he might deserve a start at that point because his development would have grown by then. But at this point now, he needs to keep growing and developing. What's really weird, they don't play in the same position, but I almost see what Elliot Anderson's doing. It reminds me a little bit of Wayne Rooney when he was at Everton.
Yeah, 100%.
In terms of his development, because that's what they did the same way, is that they kind of grown and developed him over a period of time off the bench, playing here and there, and then all of a sudden they were like, you know what, he's ready to start. And when he started, it really come out of the team off the back of that, and obviously eventually moved to Man United. But I just see Elliot Anderson going the same way if we harness that ability and let him grow and develop. Because you can throw a player into the team and he doesn't play well, and then you don't see him again. We don't because he is a guy that potentially in the next 2 or 3 years could be a starter in the Newcastle team.
100%. Like he's like a number 10 almost sometimes.
Yeah, but honestly, from the clips and from what you saw against Palace, he could actually play on the left-hand side.
It was a madness. It was a madness. He was causing a madness. The one that stood out to me was the last 1-2 against Wolves. The way he went for the 1-2, I was like, shit, he's going for the 1-2. Like he wants to score. So let that. Right.
97 minutes, and he was still looking to score that goal or create that opportunity going to win the game. That's what you want in the latter stages.
100%.
That's what we want against West Ham. If we're 1-1 or 0-0 or 2-2 and we're chasing the game, we want to win that game. You want him putting pressure on the.
Paqueta cannot score on. He can't score. We just can't let Paqueta score. We just can't let it happen. I don't mind if we lose 6-0. Paqueta cannot score against us. He just can't do it.
Someone in the chat put tonight, and I can't remember who, about the fact that West Ham play on Thursday, which helps us because they'll be playing in Europe.
Yes,
I'm not being funny, and I don't like to wish injuries on players. But if Paqueta plays and pings a hamstring, I'll take it.
You know what? If we got our full squad, I'm not worried about none of them West Ham players. If Bruno and ASM are back, I'm not worried about none of them, man. I'm not worried about them at all.
Do you, Daz? And I'll ask you as well. Do you boys think Okay, I'm going to reframe that question. Who do you think is going to be back out of those 3? Do you think out of Bruno, Wilson, and ASM? Do you think maybe one of the 3 are going to be back, 2 of the 3, or all of them are going to be back? What do you think?
I think Bruno and ASM will be back.
Yeah.
How
long is Wilson meant to be out for?
You know what, Daz? You know what, Daz? We spent 60 million on a striker. I'm saying 3 months.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there. I think all 3 are going to be back Sunday. I do. I think all of them were Eddie Howe has emphasised the point about all 3 injuries and said not serious. And not serious for me means a couple of weeks, 3 weeks max. Sunday's game would have brought Wilson up to 3 weeks.
Okay.
ASM would have been close to 2 weeks. So would Bruno Guimaraes, 2.5 weeks. I think all 3 boys will be ready, and it wouldn't surprise me if the pictures on Thursday going into Friday sees maybe an ASM or a Bruno back in training. And
100%.
I think what they're going to do is maybe hold back Wilson. No pictures in training on the website. Keep him quiet, and then all of a sudden, bang! He's back in. He's either back on the bench.
Wood gets an injury in the run out, and then on comes Wilson. Yeah, I like it. And of course, Barr owes us a favor as well. So yeah, we'll take anything we can get.
If you want to see the best of Wilson, yeah, we just start Isaac for 3 games in a row and keep bringing him off the bench and watch him terrorize defenders.
Yeah.
Because you know Wilson don't like to sit on the bench; he'll be fuming.
He will be kicking off.
Remember that time when he came back from the injury, and we said again he came back against the City game. We were like, "Yo, the way Wilson's playing, he's gonna score." Against the Arsenal game, he didn't get it. He got 2 against Burnley. I said, "Yeah, it was coming. It was coming still."
Love it, love it, love it. Oh man, Fumby, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you back, my man. Honestly,
good to meet you, buddy.
Great to have you on.
I'm gonna jump on the next W. Yeah, when we get that next W, I'm gonna jump on and scream.
We'll be waiting. We'll be waiting.
Sure
we'll get you on a reaction show.
And look, there's a lot of love in the chat tonight for you, Dean especially, Dean TGR. It just said, you know, you are the type of energy, positive energy that we needed, and you know, you've been a fantastic caller as always, mate. But look, it's a pleasure to have you on, man.
Thank you, man. I'll get you in the chat.
Of course, you always do.
All right, man. Daz, good to see you, man. Good night, lads.
Take care, Fumby. Have a good
Peace.
night. That was a great first show, Pete. For Loaded Cube, and great guests all around. So happy with that. You on mute?
Oh.
No, I hear you now. No, I hear you.
Well, I might be a bit delayed. My electrics and Wi-Fi is probably all over the place, so I apologise.
Hey, we're waiting. That kitchen is done. We'll get a guided tour. Can't wait. A few things I want to say actually, and I just kind of put a few topics in just because we in case anyone brought them up. But there's been, I'm not sure if you saw this today, Pete. There's been a new commercial partner for Newcastle as well today, Dr. Klinks. So commercial partner. So all good things there. More money coming in for signings in January potentially. So that's good. And I saw this other tweet as well today, and this is kind of like a bit of a conspiracy theory one, but it's and I'll remove the banner. Is that in Saudi Arabia seems to be starting up an airline to rival the Emirates. So and then people are saying this could be a potential sponsor for Newcastle in next season. So one to keep an eye on there as well. So let's see what happens there. So
keep bringing the money in.
Yeah.
Keep bringing that money in. Come on. Look, you know, the doctor that's joined the sponsorship. Look, myself and you, Daz, we don't need it because we've got a full head of hair. But there's lots of Newcastle United fans out there that could benefit from that. And if I'm right in thinking, there are going to be some competitions or opportunities to be able to win some free treatments off the back of that sponsorship. I think on the website it talked about that today. I just had a little read before we went live in that. There's an opportunity for those that need it, that could benefit from their expertise. So, you know,
cool.
Fantastic stuff for those that need it. But you know, I'm good. I think you're good, Daz.
I'm good. I could do the opposite.
All the loaded lads are good. I don't know about Richie. Maybe. I'm not sure if that's choice. That's
the choice. That's the life choice. Yeah.
That's a choice. So we're all good. The loaded lads are good. We're just looking at bringing that extra sponsorship money in that could maybe pay for, who knows, Madison in January.
Yeah, that's what Sam said earlier. He was talking about, actually before he came on there. He mentioned Madison, and like, why would he sign the contract with Leicester now, the way they're going, you know, and potentially Rodgers out the door as well soon. So yeah, I just want to give a few shout outs before we bring it to a close. Shout out, and we people might have noticed we have a new sponsor as well. But I'm going to let Richie do the main detail, but I'm just going to give them a shout out tonight. So first of all, I want to give shout out to shybarnes.com. Simon in the chat as always. Simon, you get into that competition. That Pete talked about. Let me go on from that and go the t-shirts that Simon does. and the hoodies and more t-shirts. And it's only a sample. You have to go check out to the website to check out what the latest that he has going. And of course, the loaded t-shirt, the original loaded t-shirt in a variety of different colors. And you also have here the Brazilian one, the away days one. Love that one. And it comes again in a variety of different colors. And there's only a handful here. You have to go check that out on this site.
I need to. I'm just in the process of finalising my details with Simon. I keep forgetting, but I'm going to, because I've got that Brazilian one on its way very soon. So looking forward to having that one, wearing it on the show.
Nice one. And I'll have to get that one for the World Cup. I think, yep, that's my plan. So yeah, then a shout out to Pins and Prints as well, and the range that Dean has there available, and also a shout out to Machine House and Marty Machine House, and the range of t-shirts and hoodies that Marty has available. We need to get Marty on. Marty's been a sponsor for a while now. We need to get him on and have a chat with him. And then we have a new sponsor. I mean, people would have seen it at the side there. It is the Geordie Rise. So we had Sean Casey modeling the shirt from the Geordie Rise, and that Dean has going there. Because they have a white and a black one, and I love what's running in the back. But we have in the chat, there's one of the models is in the chat. So here he is, the model himself. Here's Oogie modeling the shirt. There you go. You weren't expecting that tonight, I'm sure. So there you are, loving the shirt, buddy. But yeah, we'll what I'll do is I'll bring up the website on another night, and Richie will give the background around the Geordie Rise as well tomorrow on tomorrow's show. Which takes me to tomorrow's show, which is, I mentioned it earlier, but one that a lot of people are going to be wanted to see, and it was got a great reaction the last time this chap was on, and it's Keith Hackett. So Keith Hackett is going to join us, the ex Premier League referee. He's going to come and chat to us about all the bad decisions. So that topic doesn't go away. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one, and I know Richie is doing his researching for that show, as Richie always does. But yeah, it should be a good one. So keep an eye on that. It's 7:30 tomorrow. So that was it from me, I think. Pete, Anthony, from you. Of course, away days is coming up. Do you have a day yet, Pete?
It's likely to be Friday, but I'm just waiting on Dan Lawless to get back to me. He is still very angry about the VAR for West Ham. So it could be VAR sent
group therapy
with a little bit of Bruno Paqueta talk in there. It's good. It's made to be a fun away day show. There's no doubt about it. And whenever Dan comes on, he's a top guy. He knows his stuff from West Ham Fans TV. But I just wanted to say some of the comments in there about our new sponsor at Newcastle. Uggie's gone all in. Has anyone messaged Richie? Jimmy, classic Jimmy. Hopefully not pubic. I don't think it is, my man. I definitely don't need to have a top up. I'm very good. I've got my hat on right now, but look, I've got a full head of hair, my man.
I saw him in person. It's real.
Yeah, there you go. Daz is confirmed.
And vice versa.
Of course. We are both. It's both real hair. Don't worry about that. Kenzie, I've just messaged you on the chat. You've just tuned in. Watch it back. It is a very different show. A fantastic show. And Dean, very nicely put, quite the scalp getting a new sponsorship in. I like it. A couple of other comments about Maddison. It wasn't his best game yesterday, but look, Maddison's finished his cycle at Leicester. He needs to move on. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So that's the situation with him. And what a model. What a model, Huggy. Love it. What a model. So I just wanted to put those points out there. Hold on 1 second. I think the main man, Chris Hall, has mentioned something. Joined at a tense moment there, boys. You talking about could do with a top up.
We didn't want to say that, Chris.
Maybe Chris could do with the doctor. I don't know. I don't remember seeing that he needs a top up. But you know, if anyone knows, it would be Chris himself. So yeah, he's put hashtag sign me up. So maybe
Right,
maybe the
that's our
other
mission.
loaded boys are okay.
We get Chris in there. We get Chris in the competition. Petition for Chris.
Love it.
Nice one. Love it. Love it is right. That's it, Pete. That's what it was a great first show for the Loaded Cube. Great to have talked to some old faces from previously and some new faces as well. So thanks everyone who joined. And if you haven't joined tonight, you know what it's like now. You know you can come on and talk about anything Newcastle related, and we'll just have a chat. That is it. We'll be back tomorrow night, 7:30. So where's me tune? There it is. Anything else, Pete?
No, we'll see you
Let's
tomorrow
go.
night. Catch you later.
Eddie. How. Night there, everyone. Good luck.